So for my ceremonial speech, I decided to do like a speech you'd give at a funeral for Steven Ranella. And for those who don't know, he's like a hunting personality. He's got a TV show and stuff. So when most people hear the name Steven Ranella, they get an image in their head of him up on a mountain ridge, rifle slung over his shoulder, um, you know, scanning the horizon. And although that image is accurate, it doesn't paint the whole picture. And specifically, it misses what, in my opinion, is probably the greatest thing about him, which is the dedication he has for the land that was hunting on. And so, Walt Ranella was a hunter. First and foremost, he was an advocate for public ground. And he recognized what a lot of hunters often forget. Every successful hunt, every clean kill, every meal prepared from the wild. It's a direct transaction with a resource that belongs to us all. And he showed the act of hunting and the responsibility of conservation are not separate but connected. Renella's life was a powerful, successful crusade to recenter the American public on the value of their shared wilderness. As a lifelong hunter myself, it was hard not to immediately love him. His show kind of came around in a time where hunting media was dominated by private, high fence, and baited hunts, and so it was very refreshing to see someone that actually did it the real way. But what really intrigued me was his dedication to education and conservation. He not only helped to repaint the public image of hunters within the United States, but he actively pushed for them to give back to what they love. So the following is actually a quote from Steve. If you do not take action to defend public lands, you're simply enjoying the benefits of somebody else's past labor. He helped to replace the idea of taking from the land with instead the responsibility of protecting it. His ability to communicate this idea to both rural and urban outdoor communities through his books, podcasts, and television show. Steve spoke not just to seasoned woodsmen, but to a new generation curious about where their food comes from. He brought conversations about ecology, history, and ethical harvest into the mainstream, using hunting as his lens in which to view the natural world. He made conservation accessible, and in doing so, I believe he cemented his place in history among those most committed to protecting America's vast shared wild heritage. Steve's passing is a challenge to us all, and especially, us in the outdoor community. The question being, how do we truly honor a man whose life was dedicated to education, ethical hunting, and the fundamental responsibility of conservation? Well, we honor him first and foremost by continuing the work he championed. We honor him by defending public lands against every threat, treating every acre as the shared treasure it is. We honor him by becoming the eager student of the wild, he always was. Constantly learning, constantly questioning, and consistently acting with respect for the animal and the environment. But most of all, we honor him by getting outside, by engaging with, enjoying our wild places. Because Steve reminded us, if you don't use public land, you're not going to care about it, and if you don't care about it, you're not going to fight for it. So let his life be a mandate for engagement, for action, and for ethical stewardship. Rest in peace, Steve. Your profound influence on the way we view the wild and our place in it will endure. Thank you.